Well, good Tuesday morning. Nice to see everybody here. Welcome back to LTL True Crime Live. It is January 16, 2024. I want to welcome everybody into the live show. So, if everybody's asking about this morning, I'll tell you about my day. I get up this morning, didn't realize that there was as much snow outside as there was, and I had to drive out to service center to drop my car off. And I had normally on a normal day, it would take me 20 minutes to get there via the highway. It took me an hour and 20 minutes to get there this morning. So the roads were really bad. And I was going to do a live from the car, which I shouldn't be doing a live from the car, but I was going to do one. And I got out on the roads and they were just too bad. So there's no way that I could have partaken in any of that activity, nor should I be doing that. But it was just like not quick. It was a long drive up and then a long drive back. And I literally just got through the door about half an hour ago. So I'm waiting for my car to get fixed by the dealership. I had no alternative. I had to bring it there. It's a safety issue, and they're going to have to replace a sensor on the passenger side, seatbelt tension sensor or some stupid thing, because in 2 weeks I have an inspection sticker due and they're not going to give me one if I have lights on the dash. I've been through all of that fun stuff. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Waiting now for the dealership to call me and say, your bill is going to be $2,000. You know how that goes. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Is everybody off from work today here in the New England area, in the Massachusetts area? I'm off today. This was my day to go to the dealership. I'm supposed to be at the hospital right now getting blood work, but I'm going to wait on that because I know that the minute I drive over there and sit in the waiting room for fucking 2 hours, I'm going to get a call and say, your car is ready. And then I'm going to have to buzz up and go pick my car up. So here we are. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome in, everybody. What I want to do is just talk a little bit about today. Today, actually, as we know, yesterday was a holiday. It was Martin Luther King Day. Courts were not open. We are, I guess, impatiently waiting to hear any news in Karen Reed's case. We know that there has been a federal probe, and we heard recently that Levy talked about the letters that can be released. Has no problem. So I wanted to review a little bit of that today. And then tonight, I will go back to my Looking Back series. If you haven't caught that, last night, I didn't even realize the stream went 3 hours, but 3-hour live stream last night. We went all the way back to the very, very beginning. And tonight, we're going to do part 2, and there's probably going to be a couple more parts of that. So it gets everybody kind of caught up on this case if you're new coming into it, and to give you a perspective of what's essentially going on, what uh, the Commonwealth is saying against Karen Read, which I just don't think that I don't think that their facts are facts. I mean, I don't see it. So, um, thank you. Welcome in, everybody. Let's see. Who do we got in here? Good morning from New Hampshire. Well, good morning to you. Anonymous says, I love your lives. Well, thank you. Was recapping that before you went live. Cool. Scott says it's good you're going back for the newbies. Yeah, we've had a lot of new subscribers and a lot of people that have come over from Melanie Little, and Melanie Little will be here Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go over a lot in the Karen Read case, obviously. I have tons of questions, and I would love to play the video between her and Coffindaffer and have her kind of QB that thing, because I think it's funny. And it would be funny to get her reaction on that live. So we have Toronto in the house. Nice to see you. Yeah. So let's see. New Hampshire woman says, it's so nice to see Melanie come on. I love her and have followed her since she started her show. Yeah, I'm super excited for it. It's an awesome opportunity. She seems very nice. She reached out to me on Instagram, and then she hit me up. Actually, I hit her up via email. We went back and forth a little bit. I have the thumbnail already placed up there. I just got to send her the StreamYard link, and we're going to do a great show. I think it's going to be good. But Bo says it's not just for the newbies, but a refresher course for the rest of us too. Stay sharp. Yes, I completely agree with that. 1000% agree with that. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, moderators and members and subscribers. So a little bit of a laid back stream here this morning. Probably about a 9, about an hour here. We'll hang out. Canton 9 is on Canton 9 is today and on Thursday. I thought it was just Thursday. I thought Karen was Thursday and Canton 9 was Thursday. As far as I know, the biggest news that we're waiting for right now is Karen going to be in person or Zoom? And my sources that are close to me just say we're waiting. So I'm waiting to hear anything. And I'm sure once we all hear everything, everybody's sources will start kind of speaking out and let us know. So we're in tow. That's kind of where we're at. We're kind of a stalemate. Like I said, court is back open today, and we're just waiting. So what I wanted to do first is go back over last night, a little bit of a review in a post that I put up yesterday. And I really want to read over this again, because I think it has a lot of valid points here of some things that I pondered yesterday. So I put this out via my Twitter, and I want to read it just for all of you again, or any of the newbies that are just in here today and getting kind of caught up on everything. So I pondered a few things today, and this was obviously a post I put out yesterday. I pondered a few things today pertaining to Karen Read's case. For the people that think Karen Read did unalive John by striking him with her SUV and leaving him to die in the snow, can you answer these questions? And I have quite a few, just like many other people have quite a few. If her team of lawyers or her team had the slightest doubt over Karen's innocence, would they have asked and motioned for the follow items multiple times? And I know a lot of people came at me on Twitter and they're like, well, that's what lawyers are supposed to do. Lawyers are supposed to be, but just even to the general public or for the people that are sitting in the back of the room, that we have to make this very clear for all the time. Would they ask for ring footage of Brian Albert's house, tissue samples from John's arm, ring footage from One Meadow, that's John's house, publicizing the federal letters, EDR data from the Lexus? The state did not extract this data until they started asking for it. The missing library minutes. What if they turned it over and the taillight was broken at 1 a.m. as she drove home? Also, would they have taken the following risks if there was a chance Karen hurt John in any way? Letting Karen interview with ABC, NBC, and Boston Magazine, letting Karen's parents interview with Boston 25, tracking down Lucky Lauren on February 15, 2022. What if there was a dark object in the snow? Or what if he didn't say anything conclusive, revealing as early as September 15, 2022, that they believe the Alberts killed John, and not relying on reasonable doubt if they were wrong about who the assailants were? And again, my final thought is this. If there was any chance that Karen hit John, then why would her team ask for doorbell cams? Or if they ever doubted that John entered 34 Fairview, it would completely bury her. And it's so true. It's so true. So that was a post that I put up yesterday on the Twitter, and I read it on last night's live. All right, let's do a little bit of review. Obviously, we know there's a federal probe. We'll go here to Vinnie Politan on Court TV and get caught up for you noobs if you're not in tune to what's going on. There is an investigation into the investigation by the FBI. We have Ted Daniels on this episode, and he's going to report. Let's hear a little bit about that, and then I have an article about Levy, what he just said the other day. So let's get caught up a little bit here.
Excuse me. It's the weather, folks. I'm Vinnie Politan. Great to have you with us tonight here on Closing Arguments. This is a case unlike any case I've ever covered. What is happening up there in Dedham, Massachusetts at the courthouse,
Right back.
in Canton, Massachusetts, where all this happened, the protest, the support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. It's unreal. And every time I do this story, I get all these direct messages and notes, some of them a little heated from both sides of this controversy. No one is happy, and that tells me that this is different than most of the murder trials that we cover here, and that I've been covering for years. And it all begins as a Boston police officer, John O'Keefe. He's dead. He's dead. The question is, how did this happen? Who is responsible? And obviously, as you heard, there are two completely different stories, versions, narratives of what happened the night that John O'Keefe was killed and then found dead in the snow. On the one hand, you have prosecutors saying that this was a crime of passion. These were two lovers who had an argument, and she was angry, and she struck him with her car and left him there in the cold to die in the snow. That it was about a relationship gone bad, and a woman who was angry, and that's why she did it. That's one version. That's what the prosecution has said. A lot of times you don't get another version, especially before a trial, but in this case you have. And the defense and Karen Reed are saying, no, it wasn't me. It was someone inside the house, and this was a police cover-up. It was a police party, and it was an investigation that was done by people connected to people in the house. And that's a problem. And it's a huge cover-up, and she's being framed for all of this.
Scott, I'm not buying.
So there's a lot to get to every time we do this story. There's a lot of layers. There's a lot of evidence. But now there's a new report. Boston 25, one of the local stations up there, has been doing amazing work on this. Real big reveal that caught my attention, is catching a lot of people's attention. Take a look. 25 Investigates has learned that the Norfolk County District Attorney, Michael Morrissey, sent a letter to the Department of Justice. Those are the feds, folks, okay? So you've got the local prosecutor sending a letter to the feds requesting that the federal probe of the Karen Reed case be transferred out of Massachusetts. The feds up there are looking at this investigation. Morrissey's letter provides the first official confirmation.
If there's nothing to hide in this case, then why would there be an order to be put out there on the record to transfer this case out of Massachusetts? It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense.
That the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts is looking into the arrest and prosecution of Reed. So in the middle of trying to prosecute someone for murder, the feds are looking at the people who investigated the case and investigated Karen Reed. This is highly unusual, but big news. Joining us tonight from Boston, Massachusetts, the investigative reporter at Boston 25 News, Ted Daniel, is with us. Ted, great to see you tonight. Unbelievable work and investigation you guys are doing. Before we get to all that, let me just take a step back and your analysis of this story, this case, this trial, everything that's happening. I'm feeling down here in Atlanta that things are at a fevered temperature up there with everyone involved. What's your take?
Well, like you, I'm getting the same DMs and emails from people who are vested in this case. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've covered a lot of high-profile cases, including Aaron Hernandez, both of his trials, gavel to gavel. I've never seen anything as polarizing as this, where people are so absolutely dug in on each side. And that has led to just this firestorm that's existed since about April, when the defense came out swinging that they believe this is a cover-up.
So locally, how is this playing? Because now you guys have confirmed for the first time that there is in fact a federal investigation into the investigation of Karen Reed and the investigation of the death of John O'Keefe. Give us a little bit of the parameters of what this is about and what everyone is saying about that part of this case.
Yeah, we weren't the first ones to report the federal investigation. That had been out there, but we were the first ones to confirm.
Here's the thing. I am going to continue to play this content over and over and over and over and over and over. I don't know how many times I need to say over and over and over until Karen Reed is free and Aiden is free and there's justice for John O'Keefe. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch. You can unsubscribe. It's perfectly fine. But I will continue to put these facts out and continue to put this material out over and over and over again because we care and we will continue this movement and we will not stop until Karen Reed walks out of that court a free woman and does not have to deal with any of this anymore and can go on with her life. So if this doesn't work for you, then you don't need to watch. You don't need to come in and spoil the time for people that want to be here and go over this and understand, because every time we go over it, there's new things that we hear or we see. I don't know how many times I've done the Idaho 4 case, probably done well over 300 or 400 streams on that. And I watch something again and I go, wow, I didn't hear that, or I didn't see that, or this could be a possibility. I just recently did that with a Bluetooth speaker in that case, that we figured something out after looking at the PCA and all of the things that have been reported on that. Another small, minute detail that we missed that could be a possibility of pinning Brian Kohberger to those victims. But this is what I do, and this is what I will continue to do. And it's okay. You don't have to watch. You don't have to watch. Maybe I'm not the channel for you. It's fine. Okay. Let's play.
Confirming. And the way we did that was interesting. I got a tip that the Norfolk County District Attorney, who is the district attorney where Canton is, that he sent a letter to the Department of Justice essentially pushing back on this federal probe, that the Norfolk DA believes that there's a number of conflict of interests that the DOJ failed to recognize, and that they're essentially...
I'm going to pause this again really quick and interject again. You don't realize there is new people, new subscribers, new members that find this channel. That, I mean, even last night, During my looking back stream, there were people on there going, I have no idea what's going on in this case. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for going over this material again. Thank you for painting the picture so we can all understand of what's happening to get to the truth. And that's why we do this. You can say that about every creator that comes live. But it's very important in this case that people understand what's going on. And there's new bits and pieces that come in every day. Right now, we're in a holding pattern. We're waiting to find out, is Karen going to court on Thursday? Is it going to be a Zoom call? We don't know yet. But I need to refresh people and get people ready for Thursday. So like I said, if you don't like the program, I don't know, unsubscribe, don't watch. But I'm going to keep doing this because the people want it.
Targeting him. So we did a public records request for that letter. And when I got the denial from the Norfolk County DA's office, they denied it, saying, hey, this is confidential information. We don't have to give it to you. That essentially confirmed for me that, yes, we do have this letter in existence. This letter is here.
So at this point, where does everything stand? Do we have any idea whether or not people have been interviewed? Have people given depositions? Have people been put in front of a grand jury? What level of investigation is this federal probe at? Do we have any idea?
We do. Our sources tell us that there is a federal grand jury. We know subpoenas went out, and it's been going on for a long time. That subpoenas, at least one round of them went out on April 10th. A number of people who the state has identified as witnesses, who are going to be witnesses for the prosecution, they've been called in to testify in front of this grand jury. And we know that the grand jury was hearing testimony over the summer. I'm aware of people who testified in July and August. But I have not been able to find or learn of anyone who's testified in front of that federal grand jury since August. And as you know, Vinny, these cases, the federal cases, they can take a really long time. But, you know, there's so much, I think, you know, thirst for information here that people are saying, hey, if the feds have something, if something really...
Even Ted Daniels just said it. There's a thirst for information. We're waiting. And this is a month ago. You know, we're waiting. There's nothing we can do until Thursday. There's nothing we can do. So why not go back and refresh and bring in new people? The more streams that we put out about this, new people come into this movement. I was just saying last night, again, there was a whole bunch of new people in here and said, thank you for doing this. There's a lot of people that are cross-pollinating from all of these streams. Melanie Little, The Glairer, myself, Young Jerks, Tom, CPU, you know, Unsafe Spaces, Making Law Simple. You know, they're all, you know, a lot of people that watch those channels might not know about me or know about Glare. And that's why we do this, to bring all of those people together, to get them involved in what's going on.
Exists here that shouldn't. Let's hear it. We want to know, because Karen Reed's going to be supposedly going to trial in March. I don't think it's actually going to happen then, but that's when she's on the calendar for.
Right. If the federal probe uncovers something, you would think that Karen Reed and her team would want to know what's going on there, because that would impact their case, because their whole case is that there was something wrong with the investigation, and then it was some level of a cover-up.
Absolutely. It's hard to imagine that the feds would let the case go to trial if they have something, which we don't know if they do. If they have something, that the feds would let the case go to trial and play out that way, and then, you know, bring a resolution after that. Or if there's indictments, drop indictments after that. It just seems that there is. Listen, the timing of this is super important, and I wonder if the.
I'm gonna keep doing it. I ain't stopping, Buzzsaw. I like that name, by the way. Buzzsaw, Buzzsaw, Buzzsaw. Running Man, Buzzsaw. Remember, you ever see the Running Man before? Arnold, Buzzsaw. Says, what did he say? The line, Buzzsaw said, this saw's a piece of me, and now I'm gonna make it a piece of you. And then Arnold goes, that's okay, you can keep it, and then reverses the chainsaw on him and splits him up the legs. Good, great movie.
Feds believe there is some pressure on them to wrap this up and reach a resolution.
And I want to get your take on what's happening at the courthouse, these huge displays. And I know I've had him on the show, Turtle Boy. I know there's a bunch of Turtle riders out there, his supporters, his listeners. But what's your take on this crowd? Is this his crowd? Is this people from the city of Canton who have gotten wind of what's going on? Like, what is really the genesis and the makeup of all these folks that are showing up at that historical courthouse?
Well, Turtle Boy's done a really good job of sort of galvanizing this large group of people. And I wouldn't say these are necessarily Cantonites. These are people from all over Massachusetts. And these are people who are incredibly passionate about their belief that this is a cover-up and that Karen Read has been framed. And they're all over the state. You know, we cover a bunch of stories.
That was a short story? Get out of town. The Running Man was a short story? Get out of town. Is that true? So Amy says, Brian, I know you cover Idaho. Did you hear the university president pulled a Becky Hill and wrote a book saying he found out before the families? No, I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that. That's a short story, Healing Time. You've got to email me that short story if you can find it. I want to read that. The Running Man was a short story. Oh, wait, is that Stephen King? Running Man, Stephen King, isn't it? It is a Stephen King novel. It's a novel. If you have the short story, send it to me. Did King do a short story first and then make it into a full novel and then eventually get screen adaptation?
But this is the story that people always come up and
ask me, hey,
what are your thoughts on this? What have you heard about this?
Send it to me,
There's
bro.
something about this story that's just caught the attention of everyone here in Massachusetts.
That's a hell of a car, by the way, Hurt Locker.
National interest in it, too.
Oh, big time. Big time.
I'll check it out.
So I want to take, since I have you here, I want to take advantage and go through some of the evidence in this case with you and get your take on this evidence and anything else that you know about it. Let's begin. I want to take a listen. This is Adam Lally, district attorney, talking about the cocktail glass evidence, which I think is extremely important for the prosecution.
The damages to the right rear corner panel of the defendant's vehicle. Embedded within the bumper to that vehicle is pieces of cocktail glass.
I love this.
The victim, Mr. O'Keefe.
So the cocktail glass got smashed, supposedly got embedded in the back of the bumper, stayed on the bumper on a 33-mile trip from Canton to, from Dighton to Canton, sat there for 3 days, waited for the Mass Police crime unit to come in and process the car or the SUV. Yeah, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. And then he's going to tell you that the cocktail just had this crazy way about it. The cocktail glass had this crazy way about it when it got broken, and it just scratched the hell out of John's arm. I love this.
Is last observed on surveillance video, external surveillance video from the waterfall establishment that he left just prior to going to 34 Fairview, with a cocktail glass in his right hand. Same arm is injured.
How many people I have fucking seen walk out of a bar with a glass in their hand, take the last sip, and then throw the fucking glass on the sidewalk? How many times I've seen people do that? Even if he did walk out with a glass, he probably did that. Or I've seen people take the last sip and they just put it down on the sidewalk and walk away as they're walking to their car.
A type of glass that is then recovered from the bumper of the defendant's car.
So Ted, what's your take on the significance of this cocktail glass and the fragments that were allegedly found?
Yeah, the prosecution needs a way to explain what appear to be those puncture wounds on John O'Keefe's arm. And it appears that this might be a way that they're going to go about doing this, that John O'Keefe had this cocktail glass, and when he was hit and it broke and somehow shattered or somehow dragged his arm. You're looking at the picture right there. And, you know, normally when things, something like...
I don't even know if that's possible. So let's just say you hold the glass, then supposedly fucking Karen backs up and at 62 feet, 24 miles an hour, and then it just magically breaks. because he had a sweatshirt on, or did he have a sweatshirt on? And then the glass just said, oh, gotcha, gotcha, we gotcha. I guess that's what happened, right? Is that what happened? Or it's probably the dog that was inside. That would be my best
cocktail
theory.
glass would be that important, but I think as we see this case, when it goes to trial, I think that's something you'll be hearing a lot about.
And I heard the DA also in the argument.
I know what it was. Maybe John was just so irritated that night. Maybe Karen and John got in a fight. He smashed the glass in his hand and went. That's probably going to be the next theory, right? He was angry. He got mad. He's the one that smashed the glass, and then or Karen got mad at him, and then she's the one that because I'm sure that narrative will change too when the puzzle pieces don't start fitting.
Assistant DA talk about pieces of the glass in Reed's bumper. So the prosecution theory is that she backs into him and then the glass breaks, ends up in her bumper.
Yeah, I mean, if they really do have a piece of glass that they found on her bumper, I think that's important for the prosecution. How else did it get there, Vinny? I mean, I think that is something that I haven't heard a ton about, but it seems like a very logical path that the prosecution would want to go down.
Now, the other big thing is the tail light. Let's take a listen to the defense attorney, David Yannetti, talk about her broken tail light, which is another big issue in this case.
The tail light was intact when she left Brian Albert's house. She came home, and this was Karen leaving to begin the frantic search for John O'Keefe. Now, I don't know that you can see it from the video that you have there, but there is no doubt that when
good point, Rogue.
SUV comes into contact with what is John O'Keefe's vehicle parked in the driveway, you can see that rear tire move forward. It rotates, and you also see the light shatter from the taillight being broken.
So I guess this is another issue in this case. Like, how does the tail light break? Does she smash it the morning after, or does she break it when she is running over and intentionally killing John O'Keefe? This will be significant as well.
I spoke to Karen Reed's parents. I did a sit-down interview with them a few months ago. And one of the questions that I asked her parents is, did Karen say she hit something? Does she remember hitting anything? And they said, yes. She said to her father, I thought I may have hit something. And their explanation is what you're looking at here, that Karen Reed backed into John O'Keefe's car that was parked in his driveway there. And they're saying, yeah, the taillight's broken because that's the way it happened here. The prosecution, if you look at their filing, they'll say that it appears that it may have touched the car, but it didn't really, move the car. We actually took a real close-up shot of that and spot shadowed it and slowed it down. And it does appear, as David said, that the tires do appear to move forward a little bit.
For you noobs, I have an enhanced video on my channel. If you would like to watch it, it clearly hits John O'Keefe's SUV.
Enough to cause the taillight to break? I don't know. I'm not an expert on that. But I know that is certainly huge for the defense, this video right here.
Yeah, like what are the odds that you're accused of running someone over with the back of your car, and later that same morning or a few hours later,
you hear him laugh there? He goes, listen to Daniels, he laughs.
Someone over with the back of your car.
Right there, he just laughed. He went,
right here.
Yeah, like what are the odds that you're accused of running someone over with the back of your car, and later that same morning or a few hours later, you back into a vehicle? It's going to be difficult for the jury to deal with that. Now the big thing, I know this is what set off.
Send me a $500 super chat, man, and I'll play that video all day long.
turtle boy when I spoke to him, which was this
Or
Jennifer
1,000.
McCabe
1,000.
Google. Jennifer McCabe, one of the women at the party that night. Let's take a listen to Alan Jackson describe that piece of evidence.
Why is Jennifer McCabe one of the parties that was inside the house that night, the sister-in-law of Brian Albert? Why was she Google searching? How long does it take for a human body to die in the cold? The Apple Cocoa core data indicates, or the core time indicates exactly what time that Google search occurred. That time was at 2:27 and 40 seconds in the morning on January 29th. That's 3.5 hours before John O'Keefe's body was found.
I think for many people who believe that Karen Read is framed here, this is the smoking gun, right? The allegation that there's a search about how long for someone to die in the cold at 2:27 the morning before John O'Keefe is ever found.
Yeah, that's what that's what the defense led with. I remember the first day that they announced this bombshell change in the case, that is the evidence that they said they had. If you talk to the prosecution, they will tell you that there was a tab that Jennifer McCabe had open, and she opened that tab, and the search was actually conducted in the morning. And what the prosecution is saying is the search was conducted at the request of Karen Read. So, Karen Read is the first one to see John O'Keefe's body on the lawn.
I'll look into that case. I know I'm hearing a lot about it lately. Sandra Birchmore. Maybe that's something I can peek into. We'll try to dig some things up and see what we can come up with, because I know a lot of people have been talking about that and a lot of the parallel, similar things that are going on in this case to Karen Read.
She's with Jennifer McCabe, and according to Jennifer McCabe, Karen Read frantically yells, "Search! How long it's snowing? How long does it take to die in the cold?" And Jennifer McCabe went ahead and searched that. I've spoken, I dealt with Celebrite and some of the other cell phone analysis companies. I've shown them this evidence, and I'm like, tell me what you think. And nobody is willing to go on the record and say whether or not they think that search actually happened at 2:27 in the morning, or if that search happened later in the morning.
Why won't they go on
when
record?
There were other similar searches for how long to die with cold.
That's unbelievable. That is such an important part of this case, and the experts are not going to agree at trial, because I'm sure both sides will have experts that won't agree, but it seems like there's no real consensus in the business as to what it means. Unreal. Ted Daniel, so happy you could be on the show tonight. I hope we'll speak again as the trial gets closer. Boston 25. If you don't live in Boston, go online and check out the stories. Amazing, amazing work. Thanks so much, Ted.
All right. So we had that. We had the probe that was revealed, and then we got this the other day. Ted Daniels again. Boston 25 News. U.S. Attorney does not object to release the letters with feds in Karen Read case. Acting U.S. Attorney for Massachusetts, Josh Levy, is allowing letters between federal authorities and the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office to be released, a new court filing shows Friday. Sources tell 25 Investigates a federal probe is looking into the investigation of John O'Keefe January 2022 murder. 25 Investigates request one of the 8 letters Norfolk District County Michael Morrissey sent to the DOJ's office and professional responsibility, pushing back to the probe, but were denied. The DA asked for the letters to be impounded. 25 Investigates request the letter under the Freedom of Information Act. In an email response, Kevin Kerb, Assistant Director of the DOJ Freedom of Information Privacy Unit, wrote, "To the extent that non-public response records exist without consent, proof of death and or overriding public interest, disclosure of the law enforcement records concerning an individual could reasonably be expected to constitute an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. Any non-public records responsive to your request would be categorically exempt from disclosure." According to 2 sources, Morrissey's letter referenced a potential conflict with a high-level federal prosecutor in the U.S. Attorney's Public Corruption Unit in Boston, who is married to a former assistant district attorney from his office. Jesus. According to Friday's court filing, Levy does not object to the release of the 8 letters. A hearing on this issue is scheduled for Thursday, January 18th. And here we are. We don't know. We don't know what's going to go on. We don't know if it's going to be in person. We don't know if it's going to be in Zoom. Everybody's clutching to the latest news that we can get. We're waiting. We're in tow. And that's why I wanted to go over and kind of brief everybody on this, because there's not really any new information. Hopefully, with this federal probe, it turns up something and Karen goes into court and these charges are dismissed. That would be great. But we have to wait and see. We don't know what's going to happen. So we are waiting. We are waiting. It goes on to say, let's see. Oh, we got a tweet. We got a Twitter. What is the tweet? We got a tweet from Ted Daniels. Hang on. A Twitter. The old Twitter. Let's see. Ted Daniels says, happy Friday, everyone. This is back on January 12th. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm off for a couple days, but I wanted to share an update in the Karen Read case. Mass courts have posted a new filing. It's a letter from acting U.S. Attorney in Massachusetts, Joss Levy, to Superior Court Judge Auntie Bev. I can't say her. I have to always say Auntie Bev. Levy says he does not object to the release of the letters in the Norfolk DA's office exchanged with federal authorities about the Read case. Levy says that there are 8 letters. Previous filings reference 6. The DA's office had just asked for letters to be impounded, kept secret. Read's lawyers are fighting that. A hearing on the issue is scheduled for Thursday. I plan to cover it. Have a great weekend. And you can see here, these are that finding. And basically, Levy just says, yeah, no, I have no problem getting it out. It does, doesn't it, Ruby? Doesn't it just roll off the tongue? Auntie Bev. Auntie Bev. It does. It just rolls off the tongue. I just, every time I talk about this, I just have to say Auntie Bev. Okay. Let's go back to the article, like we like to say here in Massachusetts. We'll go to the article. Oh, that's it. I'm sorry. That's the end of the article. But that basically gets caught up, and we're in a holding pattern. I mean, we're all waiting for news, you know. That's all we can do. It's all we can do, man. Okay, what else do I have here on Tappity Tip Tap? Oh, okay. If you weren't out at the last hearing the other day, and any of you noobs that are in the room, this was from the hearing the other day. This is my reporting, and I caught the scene down there at the court in Dedham, and we'll play a little bit of this, and then we're going to wrap this puppy up. Montage. Thanks for the 2. So why are you here today? Let us know.
We're here for justice for John and free Karen.
So cold that day.
Born and raised in place for John and Boy too.
Absolutely. Aiden, we're with you.
We're with you, Aiden.
I love that photo, by the way. Cars don't bite. That's great. Right by Jen McCabe, too. And there she is, right there. That's Jen McCabe. Right there. Oh, you're in the camo jacket. Now I remember, maybe I didn't film this, but I remember as Jen McCabe was going into the courthouse, there was still some kind of yelling in the hallway. I didn't capture that, but I think I remember something like that. I don't know if you all heard it too. Once she was going into the courthouse, I think there was some kind of rustling out there, people kind of screaming and stuff, but I didn't get any of that, but I do remember it.
Turn around.
Yeah, Ruby, yeah. I thought I heard that. Here's Lally. Wow. Lally. Here she comes. Thanks for dropping that, Mary. I need to go over that document. Aaron, Yannetti, Jackson, Little. I love how I did this. I cut all this footage together. Thank you, by the way, for the people that gave me this footage. Not bad editing, huh, Brian? Cut all that together. It was great. Not bad. Right here. It's Karen.
How do you feel today? Today went great. Thank you so much. Can we make a quick hold? Love you, Karen.
Richie. Well, I'm like, all right, what am I doing? I'm just going to follow Richie. I'll just follow Richie. The good thing I did is we got great footage. The guy just took off. I'm getting everything. And good thing I was there because Court TV is Tom. Tom gives Karen flowers right here, which is very sweet. Good thing I was there because as everybody's walking, all the media, their backs are turned, and there's this huge cable that's just strung right across the sidewalk. And literally, if I wasn't there, like cable, people would have just tripped over it. You're gonna hear that.
Towards the end, I heard Rachel Rollins about lists and sanctions. You feel comfortable speaking about that? They will be filed later today. They will be. So you're saying, tell me what that is. I only heard brief. You won't have to wait very long. Okay. Okay. And is that how significant is that? Great job. You'll be able to judge yourself.
Right here, the cable.
Thanks.
Careful. Wire. Careful. Yeah, I'm like, wire. I don't want people to trip. Oh, thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing? Oh, there's a back. The back door's open on the other side.
Yeah, the bodyguard's awesome. Karen just mouthed thank you. She said thank you. That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she just looked at me and she said thank you.
Good, post that.
Yeah, that's great. Good stuff. Yeah, so I have an extended video on that. If anybody wants to watch the full hour of footage that I cut, I'll drop that video in here if you're interested in watching it. I would appreciate it. Let me pull up the full hour, and it's really great footage. I captured the whole day. I'll drop that link in there if you want to watch it. That's the whole video. Shit, hang on. It's this one. Let me delete that one. If you're interested in watching, of course I can't delete that video. Don't click the first one I dropped. That's the wrong. Let me see. I'm going to remove that one. But if you want to go back and watch the full hour, you can. As far as the editing software, you want to laugh. You want to absolutely laugh. Literally, the editing software I use is Windows Movie Maker. It is the easiest software to use. There's no bells and whistles. I think it's the last version that they did like 15 years ago, and it works perfect for what I need to do because I don't need any crazy edits. There's another program that I use that's great that gives me a little bit more enhancement, and I use that online. It's called Kapwing, and it's a cloud-based service that I use, and it's pretty cheap. It's like $20 a month or something like that. So, that's what I'm using. By the way, we were talking yesterday about merch, and I made a t-shirt, a little tribute to Alan Jackson, and I'm going to make a Yannetti, and I'll get a Karen Reed one up there. But if anybody's interested, I made the Action Jackson t-shirt, and on the back is the duck quote. And I love this quote. And I tweeted this out today and put it on my community page. And this was in the May hearing. It was the first one that was televised. If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's a duck. And then we have the hashtag Free Karen Reed, and then right below it, LTL True Crime. So if anybody's interested in picking one up, I would appreciate it. I made them in hoodies. And I just ordered a t-shirt myself because I want to see what they look like. And yes, there are white ducks. It's not a goose. I just thought the white duck would stick out a little bit better than a mallard. But if anybody's interested, I'll drop the link. My store is kind of all messed up right now. But I'm trying to work out the kinks for that and connect it to my YouTube channel. I don't know. Something's just going on with it, but you should be able to order one. And I love, this came together really well, and I'm super happy with it. I just love this, the Action Jackson. I'm gonna get a Yannetti one. We'll get Elizabeth Little up there, and we'll find some good quotes. But this is killer. If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck. And then the hashtag free Karen Reed. So very cool, very, very, very cool. And I'll drop the link here again if you want to check it out and order one. I'm not sure if the link is working. You might have to cut and paste it in, but it should work. Yeah, I don't want to get sued for using a Howard the Duck photo, but I think this was the closest thing that I could get to. So anyway, you might have to cut and paste the link. I don't know. Again, my store is kind of messed up right now. I'm trying to work through all the kinks on that and get that all fixed up, but it should be connected to my Howard the Duck's a great movie. It's supposed to be like one of the worst movies of all time. I thought it was a great movie. It should be connected into my YouTube page soon. So if not, you can just click on that and grab one. I would appreciate it, but I can't wait to get mine. I'm actually really excited about it. Okay, well, we're going to end this live. I said to do about an hour today. I'm going to head out of here for a little while. I'll be back tonight. We'll continue the Looking Back series. And again, if I get any news or I hear any news, I will let everybody know. You know, I'll come back live. I'm sure the news is going to travel fast. But that's really it for today. I appreciate everybody coming in this afternoon. I don't know if everybody's off from work. I'm off from work again. I'm waiting for my car to get repaired and have to go through all that shenanigans today. So we'll see what happens. I'll see you all back here tonight, probably 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., maybe a little bit earlier. I don't know. We'll figure something out, but look out for the tile. I'll put it up. And Friday is going to be a great day. Melanie Little will be with me here Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I've been asked to go back on Turtle Boy's page on Thursday. We're going to do the microdots video, maybe get the glare over there again, see what's going on with that. But Thursday it would probably be 8 or 9 o'clock. So look out for all those streams. But I will be back tonight. If it is a Thursday court session, yes, I will be live from the courthouse along with my DJI camera catching all of the footage. And we'll just go from there. So hopefully we get some good news today. We'll just have to see. Thursday is an extremely big day, huge big day. And today is big. So hopefully we hear something. All right, y'all. I'm going to head out for a while, get some relaxing, get my show together for tonight, and hope to see you all back this evening for part 2 of the Karen Reed Looking Back series. And we'll get into it. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.